military officers are like zombies who obey idiotic orders. Enters hero, did you switch? Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Nigeria entertainer Obianoju Catherine Ude, popularly known as DJ Switch, has likened Nigerian military personnel to zombies. She stated this while referencing Fela Anikulapo Kuti 1977 hit song Zombie, in which the late singer describes Nigerian soldiers as mindless zombies who follow idiotic orders. In her speech at the Oslo Freedom Forum, the entertainer said youths are ready to stand up to the oppressors, Nigerian leaders who are afraid of youths and have failed to create an enabling environment for them to thrive and contribute. She lambasted Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who she described as one of the country's oppressors. She said, as an artist and a DJ, I listen to music a lot, all the time, and I am reminded of a legend, the artist Fela Anikulapo Kuti, who was known for speaking truth to power with his music, and I remember of his 1977 song titled Zombie. Here, Fela likens the Nigerian military to mindless zombies following idiotic orders. It was relevant then, it is relevant today, and it is mostly likely relevant tomorrow and the future. The same future that they say is in the hands of the leaders of tomorrow. But what we have tomorrow are recycled leaders of today who have failed to provide an enabling environment for young leaders to thrive and contribute. But they choose instead to kill us all off one by one. This might sound outrageous to you and you might wonder why. I would tell you. Our leaders are afraid. It's as simple as that. They're afraid of a thinking, innovative and collaborative working Nigeria. They are afraid of every young Nigerian who, against all odds, have made it for themselves. They are afraid of the coconut head generation, as we'll call ourselves. We are hard-headed. We are not easily deceived by propaganda. We stand up to oppressors, starting with the Nigerian Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. Yes, you heard me right. The Nigerian Minister for Information, our very own spin doctor, his first name is Lai. It is inevitable, right? The pun is begging me, Lai. Call the shooting a fabrication of a massacre without bodies. He said I was a purveyor of fake news and with an intent of tarnishing the nation's image, and I am a terrorist, among other things. The Nigerian army called the shooting fake, and that I had made the whole thing up in a green screen. Yes, I have plans of going to Hollywood after the speech. DJ Switch gained prominence after doing a live video of the Lekki Toll Gate shooting last October. At the time, many Nigerians took to the streets to demonstrate against police brutality under the NSAS campaign. The protesters has called for disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS, a police unit notorious for extrajudicial killings, human rights abuses, and torture. On October 20, 2020, the Nigerian military reportedly fired 5 rounds of bullets at the protesters, which resulted in the death of some. The Switch was later targeted by the Nigerian government, forcing her to flee the country. Exactly 1 year ago, October 8, 2020, demonstrations started in major cities across Nigeria as youth protested against the death of a young man killed by the police in Delta State on October 3, 2020. The widespread protest is what is now known as NSAS protest. Well, what do we say? October is indeed a day of remembering, and it's a day to remember what happened in the month of October. October is a day where the memories are not good. They're not beautiful memories. There are some memories that you will want to forget, and also there are some memories you will never want to forget. Even if they're as bad, but you will not want to forget it. And the citizens of Nigeria, I tell you, they will not forget this particular date, where protesters, once again, we hear every day that we are in a democratic state, and we are in democracy. We practice democracy as a system of government in Nigeria. Yet, peaceful protesters who we are doing nothing but protest against police brutality, as at the time we are attacked. Some of them killed in the process, some of them injured. A lot of happenings happen, and I'm telling you, the people of Nigeria, in every manner, do not want to forget. No matter how painful this memory is one not to be forgotten. A lot of our youth's life were just wasted just like that. Why? I keep saying because they were protesting peacefully against police brutality. And it took after this incident for the disbandment of SARS to happen. And I keep asking myself, we should have proactive, we should be proactive. The electorates and those in governments alike. We should be proactive. Had it been the government was proactive enough to listen to the protesters, the peaceful protesters, I tell you, most of them that are dead will still be alive today. But in this country, it is only going to be when something so bad has really happened that the government will swing into action. I do not know why. Why we choose to keep the proactiveness that we are supposed to be, why we keep it so far off and only swing into action when there has been destruction of property, when there have been loss of lives. Okay, for instance, look at the killing of late Dora Akunyili's husband, Mr. Chike Akunyili, whose untimely death he met just because of the lackadaisical attitude of the security agencies, or rather, of the state and federal government. It was after this said man was killed, that is when the governor of Anambra State at the time swung into action, calling people, and it is after his death really that we are now seeing a lot of the Southeast governors coming together to discuss the issues of insecurity. Meanwhile, when the killings started gradually, they did not gather. We were not told that they gathered. It is because that particular killing, that's why I keep saying, doesn't mean that we are so we do not learn from our past mistakes. We're all human beings, and there are going to be times we are going to make errors, we're going to make mistakes. Now, it doesn't mean that we do not allow ourselves to learn from the mistake. We have to keep allowing history to repeat itself. Now, during this particular time, by this time last year, everywhere was heated up. Everywhere was heated up across the nation. In fact, we do not know until then that we could really come out and really unite against one cause. And it is our unity that even made our voice to be heard. It is our unity now that made our voice to be heard, that made our voice as a nation to be heard. People everywhere, we are saying, end SARS, end police brutality and all that. And it is our togetherness. Now, I just wish that we should come together and fight whatever that is keeping Nigeria now backward. Whatever it is, the injustices, if there is anything like injustices, the unfairness, the unequalness, the governance, the bad governance, the tribalism, the nepotism, the favoritism, and all sorts of tisms. We can actually fight this because a perfect example is, by this time last year, a protest was done. And though, yet, the protests now, yes, it yielded something, but people had to come after. But now, what I'm saying is, we can still demand for this bad government to end. We can still demand for we can still unite and look for a way out. That is all I'm saying. We can still unite our voices and speak against all the menaces that is troubling our nation and look for a way out. And at the end of the day, just like they had no option than to disband the SARS, then they will also have no option than